Yeah, so
and because there's so many of them that they can evolve quickly because normal evolution would take like at least 100 years for a minor change, but I guess since they're so small and there's not a lot they can be changed, then
yeah, so every year the outside, so the part that looks different between different viruses, can change a little bit so your body won't remember it the next year. So that's why we all get our flu shots every year.
Mutates.
Yeah.
Alright. So, there is what a cold virus or bacteria? Virus. Exactly right. So it's pretty common. I think most of us have had the cold by now, but also fairly harmless. So most people catch it per year, so it's not too dangerous. Okay, SARS. Do you guys ever heard of this?
No.
This
It happened like the year you were born.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Russian monarchy?
Well, yeah. This
Looks like green kiwi inside some red
The
blood.
Russian monarchy is the
Tsars.
Tsars.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
So
Something
SARS
else.
actually came all the way from China.
Yep.
Whoa.
And
How
there's
did it come all the
a
way here from China?
Oh,
Because people travel here from China.
Okay.
Immigrants.
so
Immigration.
so in 2003, you guys weren't around then, but we were. There was a huge incident in Toronto, and they had to shut it down because someone from China came over, infected people from Toronto, and then there was a huge outbreak in there.
Yeah, but what is SARS?
It's a virus.
So it's a virus that's more deadly than the cold, and can actually
Because
kill
it affects
people.
your lungs.
So it can stop you. Stop you from breathing.
So actually,
You let it get
it's
there, yeah.
called SARS because it's severe acute respiratory syndrome.
So
Oh.
it's cute.
It's cute.
All right, Ebola. Has anyone heard of Ebola?
No.
Ebola was in the news the other day.
Oh,
Like a word.
I watched
Anyone?
this.
No.
Looks like a word.
is it like E. coli?
Spread out.
No, E. coli is
Yeah, it looks like a messed up worm.
So again, virus.
Like a bacteria.
What did you hear about in the news, Aaron? I didn't hear about
So
it.
there was an Ebola breakout, I think in Guinea, in West Africa. And what happens with Ebola, it's very, very deadly. So,
That stinks.
yeah.
Of course it does.
So if you get it, your chances aren't so good. So what they do is they have to quarantine everyone just into a room, and all the people treating them have to be very careful. They have to suit up and make sure that they don't get infected when they go in. So there was an outbreak in Guinea a few weeks ago, and they're trying to stay on top of it, and they're trying to do research to figure it out, but they have to be really careful because they don't want to get sick themselves, right?
How many people died?
I think like 60 of the 80.
What?
So far.
Only 20 survived so far.
There's
Last time I
only,
checked.
there's only 80.
Did anyone-
There's only 80 left alive that are infected.
Only
20.
left.
20. Yeah.
There were 80 before.
But then
Did
like,
anyone, did anyone
Well,
lose?
on the bright side,
a while ago they did. They had a big outbreak.
Bro,
The very first big
how is
outbreak.
there a bright
No,
side?
And someone
there's a
was,
bright side.
Has anyone treated the Ebola for?
yeah, so there was one girl who survived when she got it, and they were trying to figure out what makes her different than everyone else. So after she was okay, what they did is they took her blood, and they put it into someone who was sick, and then that person survived too.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but what if
So that's what they do, is they isolate the factors that's inside their blood that makes it.
But they can't
Kill
do
off
that
the
too many
Ebola.
times, or else you'll die of blood loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Exactly.
don't actually take that much blood.
They don't take like a giant.
Think like a syringe.
they
Not
won't
that
take enough blood so that they'll take enough blood so that you'll be able to just produce more and nothing, and you'll go back to the normal amount.
Yeah, it's like a small bleeding nose, for example.
No
Ew.
more than that. Okay, next. All right, polio. Has anyone heard of polio before?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it super duper deadly?
Okay, has anyone heard of any recent outbreaks in polio lately?
I don't even know what polio is.
Is
I know what it is.
Is polio like a disease that's transferred by chickens?
Nice done.
So
See what
this
you did
is a
there.
disease that broke out, I think it was the early 1900s, and it used to paralyze people, but we fought it off thanks to vaccination. So we vaccinated so many people that eventually the virus didn't have anywhere to live because there was enough people that were immune to it. However, recently there's been a lot of talk of not vaccinating, and what's happening is that we can get outbreaks of diseases like this again. So specifically, remind me which ones have been outbreaking.
I think it was measles.
Measles, yeah, so measles. So something like this could come back again if we don't vaccinate at least 90% of the population. It's called herd immunity. If you vaccinate enough people, the rest will be protected. But if we lower the amount of people that we have vaccinated, the disease might pop up again.
It made the news recently too because there was, I can't remember which country it was.
Yeah,
There's another country that their last polio person is done or something like that. But there was another country that they were announcing is now eradicated polio somewhere.
So it's really, so the point of that is it's really important to stay vaccinated so we're safe. All right.
So,
Herpes.
has anyone heard of this virus before?
No. And it is a virus.
Herpes.
Did you guys have chicken pox?
Yeah.
No.
I never had them. Don't you get it in your childhood?
Sometimes.
What it,
Only if
When I
you're
went to Disney World.
Yeah, I know that story. I know that one too. I haven't had them yet. Wait,
never had chickenpox, but I only had the vaccine once.
This is one of the strains, this is part of the strain of viruses that chickenpox comes from. Have you heard of shingles?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
yes.
Rings a bell.
There are some shingles.
Okay, not the
Pringles.
Points left, right, and center here.
So what happens is when you get chickenpox, after it's all gone, the virus still kind of hangs out in your body a little bit, in your nerves, and then you can excite it and it can pop out like shingles. So it's kind of like adult chickenpox. But you don't get it everywhere, you just get little patches of it.
And it hurts like heck.
And then it just itches.
It's in your nerves, right? It hurts.
How about the chicken pox?
Okay.
And more deadly.
Retrovirus.
It's of course a virus.
Well, it's obviously a virus, right?
Because it has
Anyone
retro.
heard of a retrovirus before?
No.
So what a retrovirus does is it actually goes into your DNA and changes it. Does anyone know what DNA is?
Deoxyribonucleic acid.
So, guys,
Deoxyribonucleic acid. There you go.
DNA is what we call the blueprint of our body. So DNA helps program all of our cells to do what they do. So if you have a retrovirus that goes in there and changes your DNA, you can have a lot of problems pop up. So one of the most prominent ones is cancer. So if you get a retrovirus come in, mess up something in your DNA, your genetic code that was really important, you could get a wrong mutation and suddenly you have overgrowth of cells, which is cancer. Yes.
Would that be able to do something like make you stop automatically breathing?
It wouldn't happen.
It's not.
And it only affects the cells that it only affects certain cells, right? It doesn't hit every cell in your body. Okay,
Why are you petting the flu? You're petting the flu? I'm pretty sure that she got the flu.
yeah. There you go. There's a lot of other ways you can get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can get cancer.
Baltimore disease.
Like coronavirus at any age.
When you say that changes
There was a
the,
little 4-year-old boy that died from
Anna.
cancer.
Just, Gabe's got a question.
is a retrovirus, like, can you in theory get an extra limb or like a third eye or something?
No.
Or is that not kind of the news?
It's not Zombieland, sorry.
I don't deny it.
Exactly. It's not Zombieland. HIV.
Sorry, you have a question?
HIV looks
Guys,
extremely
shh,
deadly.
Yes?
It looks like an icon.
Well, how do you get any of the other viruses? Exactly, so you can get it from something. So it's, you can find, it's like retrovirus that were relatively rare. I don't know if any that like are running around right now. A lot of times we actually use retroviruses ourselves, right? Because we can, as a scientist, we can, changing DNA can be rather useful in our studies. So, yeah.
So right now, this morning before I came, I went to the lab and I took some viruses and put them onto some cells that we got, and it's infecting the cells with this little piece of DNA that's gonna stop production of different proteins in the cell. So we can utilize them in the lab, but they can also be bad. So
And don't worry, the virus she works with only infects cats.
yeah,
Okay, Emma.
but it's an HIV virus. Does anyone know what HIV is?
No, but it looks like an icosahedron with popcorn. Hi.
Him.
I think
Him.
is it like that
Him.
somehow connected to the idea?
A quadriplegic with
It's a virus.
Yeah, just popcorn.
So HIV lives inside your white blood cells, and it kind of hides from your immune system.
What does it stand for? The V is virus.
It looks
High influence virus?
Virus maybe?
Highly influenced virus.
highly incorporated virus.
But
highly incorporated virus.
Hello, Ian virus.
There you go.
What?
Immunodeficiency virus.
Human deficiency virus. There you go.
so, as Aaron said, it hides in your white blood cells and stays in there for a while, and eventually starts to kill off a certain kind of white blood cell. Okay. However, when eventually your white blood cell, that type of white blood cell is going to run out, and that's going to really, your immune system can't function without it. And so when that happens, it progresses to another form of disease, and we call that AIDS.
So there's no cure for HIV yet. Because it hides so well, we can't figure out.
And it changes too. So if it keeps changing, how can we isolate it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
If we
what do we do? Do it so like you have to take a shot like every week or something.
Like, it takes a long time to figure out what the virus looks like, and then you gotta make the shot. And then do you think everyone's gonna go to the hospital get a shot every week?
Yep.
Seems
Girl, get the shot. No.
But how do you know what HIV looks like if it hides so well?
That's why we can't make the vaccines.
No, like how do you get it to hide so well?
This is just a
Can you hand this
just a
to
picture.
Well,
That might not be exactly what it looks like.
well,
Probably like the
HIV, as I said before, can change. So this might be one of the old HIVs that's already changed.
Why does it have water molecules on it?
Those aren't water molecules; those are receptors, I
I
believe.
think those are the parts on the outside.
They look like water molecules.
To me, they look like popcorn.
And you give us some more disease.
Oh, you're running out of diseases?
Yeah, we need more.
You're fighting more. Oh, okay.
More.
Is there any more?
The immune system.
Is there any more?
That's all of them. Yeah.
What disease is that? Earache.
No.
And this is all the diseases. There's so many diseases.
Can't get fever.
So many diseases everywhere.
Sit down.
So many diseases, I got them all on camera. West Nile virus.
Okay, so remember we said that the viruses can be in animals?
Yeah.
So West Nile virus lives in animals. It lives in birds.
What's the
On back to the West Nile?
Well, I think it came to Canada at one point.
From what country?
Maybe it started here. I can't remember.
How is it Egyptian?
Nile virus.
Okay, maybe it
So it's
started in the West Nile.
Also transmitted by mosquitoes, right? So if you ever go to Winnipeg, there used to be a problem back there because in Winnipeg, that's where my dad's from. Mosquitoes are a huge problem.
No anymore.
They are big, but now they're not. Why? What do they do?
Because the ground's completely frozen. Most people don't have access to water, so at least it means that there's
Actually, one of the things they had to do to combat mosquitoes, they just sprayed huge masses of forests and just wipe them out.
Whose math is the what?
They sprayed it with pesticide.
What?
And as you can see, pesticide spraying a forest with pesticide to kill off mosquitoes is not usually a good idea. But that's what they did.
So
I
when,
don't think it's covered in sulfur.
Josh,
so when you guys are out playing later and like you see like a dead bird,
don't go touch it.
are you gonna start like looking at it and playing with it?
No, there's no way we'll do that.
But it's so cool. You can see so many things.
But you know it's poisonous if you watch this thing.
I saw a dead bird that got electrocuted. It was sitting on a telephone wire and then it accidentally fell over.
Bacteriophage.
Okay, guys,
I don't
we're gonna
know.
do a little activity. Okay, so we're gonna show like more ways that bacteria and viruses can spread. Okay.
So just before we start though, this is called a bacteriophage. It's a type of virus. Can anyone guess what it infects?
Oh,
Spiders.
bacteria?
Exactly, it's what its name says. Bacteriophage. So
Oh,
it goes
just
after
the-
bacteria. So here you can see the bacteria, the little green
Ew,
cylinders
that
there.
stuff's
And look at all the little
old-fashioned
spider
trash.
things that are attached to it. Those are bacteriophages.
that stuff's disgusting,
It
and
is
it's
kinda
very
disgusting.
it's very nasty.
Is it good or bad?
Well, if you're
Those are
infecting,
obviously
if you're
nasty, so
infecting
they're
a
bad.
bacteria, obviously it's probably pretty bad. However, we've actually been able to use bacteriophages in order to infect bacteria.
What?
If you think about what RN does, so RN uses viruses in order to infect cells, human cells. We're able to use bacteriophages in order to infect bacteria for similar purposes. Yep. So it's kind of cool the stuff we can do in order to influence different living organisms. Yes.
If it kills off all the bacteria,
What happens,
If
right?
it kills off all the bacteria, would it start killing off the viruses?
Nope. So what would happen is, so these bacteriophages, it depends on what kind of bacteriophage it is. So it has different phases. However, one of the phases is it just goes in there and then just hides. However, if something triggers it, it can start a chain reaction which causes it to replicate so many times it'll cause the bacteria to burst.
Oh,
And all of the viruses go crazy and go flying to other bacteria.
oh, isn't that just what happens anyway, except to your cells?
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna go blue.
So I think it's the lysogenic and the lysogenesis phase, right? The phases with bacteriophages, lysogenic.
Yeah. So there's two. One, it goes inside and it has little codes, little DNA codes that say how to make more virus. So it makes all the different pieces of the virus. So it goes through that for a while and then it assembles and then the cell bursts open and releases all the viruses. And now you have.
Boom.
So that's how viruses can replicate.
And they go all over the place.
That's why they're like the little machines.
Just
They have
going
programming.
up.
So they can just sit there and hide within the cell and just, keep self-sustaining itself, and then something triggers it, and then just go.
End up going up, down,
Boom.
around town.
Yeah, but if enough of them burst, what if it's like a blood cell or something? Would it burst that?
Well, for one thing, this is a bacteriophage, so it doesn't infect human cells. But yeah, there are viruses that can go inside a human cell and do the same thing. Okay. So, just speaking of blood cells, does anyone know what malaria is?
Oh,
Okay.
Not a problem.
So malaria can go in there and infect human blood cells. So there's actually a condition called sickle cell anemia, where your blood cells are sort of this like curved shape, and they're actually resistant to malaria because the malaria virus has a hard time getting into those kind of blood cells because they're strong. It's just something interesting. Anyways, I think we're almost ready to go. So, what we have here, as you can see, we've used food coloring, not actual viruses.
Yay.
Ethics and all that. So what we have here is we have red virus and green virus. So we are going to name them because it's fun. Right. We also have clear water as well. So clear water means you are not infected. So we actually have quite a number of people that are infected at the very beginning, but that's okay. Right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we need someone or volunteer to name the red one. No one wants to name the red one. Okay, sure. What's the red one's name?
Joe.
Joe. Okay. The red disease is going to be called Joe. What's the
Joe
going to be called? Yes.
Frank.
Frank. So Joe and Frank. Okay?
There's Joe and Frank.
No,
These
Billy
is Joe and
found
Frank. Now, Joe and Frank have infected all those cups that you can see that are colored. Alright?
Frank's
So,
got infected
now-
2 cups.
So everyone pick one cup.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Careful, guys, careful, don't be spilling.
I'm not infected.
Guys, Aaron's going to go through a little simulation of regular life.
Dump it on top of your
And we're going to see what happens, okay guys? So just pay attention.
Okay, listen.
Okay, so everyone's in bed and they're waking up for the morning. Okay. And no, everyone's still healthy. And some people woke up and they went to the bathroom. They didn't wash their hands. And they got infected
With Frank and Joe.
with Frank or Joe.
I have flu as well.
Okay?
Now I have Frank as well.
So then,
Guys,
hey guys, are you listening? So then you all got on the bus and you came to school because you didn't really realize you were sick.
Oh, by the way, I
Okay?
have flu as well.
So just start walking around the classroom.
And dumping water on each other.
You're just going about your day. Grab your glass.
I'm taping this, so I can't spell it.
You have an earache.
Okay, now stop. Now whoever you're right beside, you're gonna mix cups.
Wait,
Because your best friend just sneezed in your face.
Piece of Joe in my brain.
So remember to mix
Some
back.
Joe and Frank mix. Joe and Frank are getting mixed. I've been mutated.
mutated.
You guys both got Frank.
Okay.
You got Frank. And there's Joe. You guys got Joe.
But you didn't think much of it, so you just went about the rest of your day.
And you ended up getting Joe or Frank. Actually, Joe.
So you guys are on the bus. You guys are coming to school. You guys come in here. And unfortunately, you guys decide to touch the tables. Alright? So you're touching the tables. Now your friend touches the tables. Then they wipe their face.
Wait. Do we like splash this onto the table?
Alright. So whoever you're next to now, mix cups again.
Green and green. What is that about?
I have Frank and Joe.
There's no way you're mixing that. I'm taping this. I'm taping this.
Alright.
I mix cups
And all of you guys got Frank.
Alright guys.
You got Joe. And
So now
some people got
rolls
Frank.
around and your friend forgot to bring a bottle of water. So you're good friends, so you just shared your drink with them.
I have one.
Okay.
Okay, so now mix drinks again.
I know, I'm still taping.
Okay? So after you've done that, there's, oh no, surprise inspection. Someone from the health agency has come in here in order to evaluate how good the school's health policies are. So they come to class, and everyone's displaying symptoms.
What do you mean?
So they don't know exactly what all these things are. So now if you look at your cups, what do you guys see?
Joe and Frank.
Diarrhea brown.
So
You really had to bring up the D word.
There's brown there. And Joe and Frank.
some that are darker green than what we started with.
Why have
Some
people
that are
got
light green.
Joe?
Some that are like a cherry red over there.
Some people have Frank or Joe.
So guys, so what this health inspector notices is that because you guys have become an infectious chain, you guys have mutated, and now there are new viruses roaming around. We have to name them. Okay? So what are we going to name the brown virus? Bob. Okay, brown virus is now Bob.
If it's darker green, brown and straight.
You got Bob.
So,
You got Bob. You got
No, I
guys, Guys. So one of the ways we characterize this virus is based off of what? How are we characterizing it?
Oh. Bob, no.
Joe and Frank.
So how did we know which one was Joe, which one was Frank? How do we know what? Yes, so color. So that's one of the ways we're evaluating the disease states. So that's exactly like what goes on in real life. So a scientist looks at symptoms, and that's one way to evaluate what the disease is, and that's how a doctor can determine what you have.
Oh my God!
Virus or bacteria.
You both got Bob.
Okay?
You guys are. You got Bob. You got Frank still. He still got Frank.
No, I have darker green.
Yeah, but you still got Frank.
Brown.
No, how many of the 4 people who started as clear, all those healthy people, of the 4 healthy people, how many are still healthy?
I got mine there.
You skipped class, so.
I used
That's
to be
because I'm
healthy.
filming.
I used to be
anymore.
healthy as well.
No one is healthy.
Exactly.
I've had
I'll be
Frank now.
actually
Clear 4, clear nothing.
0?
0.
I have Frank.
Okay, so
There's
what does
no.
that mean, guys? If all you guys just got infected, what does that mean in the end?
It means
It's bad.
we're all gonna die.
It means that when you're sick, what you do? You wake up and you're sick.
Infected. All infected.
You shouldn't infect everyone else. So guys, what kind of things do you do when you're sick?
You have a ton of medicine.
Well, when I feel like I'm going to vomit, I'm on the computer.
So what?
I
Like,
sleep.
did any of you guys just sleep all day when you're sick?
2 days ago,
Oh, you got Bob.
probably had some.
Yeah. Bob.
No, you.
And you have no. You still have Bob.
Oh.
Yeah, you got Frank.
Drink anything.
She has mine.
You drink medicines, kind of.
Yeah.
We still need to name the yellow one.
Hey, you have Frank. This guy's got Bob. Oh, you got Bob.
That's 110% Bob.
100.
And now you're
First, we're
recording.
going to spend the morning
Okay.
talking about germs and what they are and how they spread.
Just around your neck. There we go.
Means I don't have to be on camera.
That's right.
So we're going to spend the morning talking about germs, and then this afternoon we're going to do some activities on bones. Okay? Is that fun? Awesome. You guys are okay with that? So who can tell me what germs are? Anything.
They're microbes.
Microbes?
Harmful microbe cells.
Okay.
They can't reproduce on their own, or at least viruses can.
Okay.
What is a microbe?
It's something that you can look at the microscope.
Yeah, so microscopic organisms. And where do they come from?
Viruses.
They come from viruses?
They are.
They are viruses. But where do they come from? Where can they live?
Dirty places.
Okay.
Anywhere.
Okay.
You can move around.
They live inside of you. Are you a dirty place? Are you sure? Do you know how many are inside of you?
You can sit in your seat if you want, like that.
Trillion. Yeah. So how can we spread different germs, whether they're bacterias or viruses?
By sneezing or coughing.
Okay, so in the air.
By releasing them back into the air so that they can be moved along.
Okay.
Touching a surface.
Touching a surface. So like you sneeze and put it on the door handle and then he leaves the room and he gets it. Delicious door handle.
If it's a contagious virus, if you touch someone else, they could get the virus.
Okay. So we call that direct contact. You're directly putting it on someone. You use the door handle, that's indirect because you're putting it somewhere else and then someone's getting it. And then sneezing, that's like airborne. What about animals? Can they have bacteria and viruses?
Yes, for example, the plague.
Okay.
What
about,
animals
like-
were involved in the plague?
What animals were involved in the plague?
Rats.
Rats
Rodents.
is a very, very big one.
Rats and fleas.
Okay. What about like bird flu?
What is that about?
What do you think it is?
A flu, a bird.
And they carry it, and then they can give it to people.
Ew. It's all that nasty stuff that humans do.
And swine flu, it comes from pigs.
Ew. That's disgusting.
So there's a lot of different ways that we can get germs, and the biggest problem with the fact that they're so small is we can't see them sometimes, right?
Of course they're invisible.
Like when you walk out of the classroom, do you check the handle for germs?
No, not really.
Okay, microscope in your eye.
The only visible bacteria is like really small.
Yeah, you need a microscope
Well-
to see them.
If you grow enough of it, eventually you start to see it.
Yeah. I think by that point it wouldn't run out of food, I think, on the door handle. Unless you're feeding it every day.
That's why you carry a microscope around everywhere.
Yeah? Can I see your microscope?
I don't have one right now.
Oh, okay. You left it at
Put
home.
them in your eye.
Okay, so we're gonna do a quick experiment to see how far we can spread germs. Okay?
Ew.
Okay, sound good?
What are we gonna do? Put them in a petri dish and then mark them across the room?
Watch, guys.
We're not gonna spread real germs, because then we'd all get sick and have to miss school.
Yeah.
That would be very unfortunate.
And it would be also nasty.
So Jason is gonna put some fake germs on his hand.
Ew.
Okay?
Fake germs? Fake germs?
Maybe. He did have mono last week. So
What's mono?
Last week.
okay, it was like a month ago, but it lasts a long time. Okay, so if you guys can pair off in groups of say like three, you three,
Probably can just stay in your tables. Right?
maybe if you two pair off with those two.
Yeah.
And Jason's gonna shake.
Yeah, you two guys go up there. Shake it with John.
What is that anyway?
Okay, so if you shake, we're gonna shake the first person in each group's hand, and they're gonna pass it around to the other people. So we're gonna see how far we can get it to go. Okay?
Okay, so this is like I just sneezed on my hand. I sneezed on my hand and I'm sick. And now I'm shaking. Who's first? Her hand?
Okay, I'm gonna feel weird. I'm
Oh.
gonna roll up my sleeves.
Okay, you can be the last one.
Nice for me.
We're best friends. We shake hands for a really long time.
Next.
Oh, hey.
Shake hands.
Good
Ow.
job.
Oh, you're gonna end up sick.
Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is we have a special UV light, and what it does is it allows us to see the glowing germs that you have in your hand. So, what we want you guys to do is we want you to get in a line of based on who touched one of these guys first, because they're going to have the strongest amount on them, so we can see it first. Alright, so let's find out. Okay, see, so compared to mine, because I didn't touch anything.
And then if you look at mine,
Look, Daniel, go up and
you
look.
can see white.
Yeah.
Yep.
Little white.
There is white
See, look at
there.
that, white right there.
Little white dots.
Okay, let's see if we can find it on that. See? See those white dots on there? Okay. So now the question is how far can it travel after you? So
I was
who?
one of the first as well.
Okay.
I was really near slapped a lot of people's hands, so it.
Same. You guys
see
are
right
trying to
there?
be in here.
I was near the end too.
Okay. Alright.
I got like nothing.
So who's next?
I went after her. Yeah.
Okay.
I touched her.
Okay. So who's next? It's you? Okay. Let's find out. Yep. See? Right there.
Must be less.
Yeah. There's definitely less. It's hard to find it. Okay.
Exactly. Why there's less.
And that's why germs are dangerous, because they're hard to find.
Have you ever
Alright,
played
see, like I can't really see it. Can you?
Yeah, I
You
can
see it? Okay. Well, you have better eyes than me.
Yes.
Okay.
The other day.
I have some on you. we're gonna see. In fact, I'm pretty sure on the last.
Like this one?
Who's next?
Oh yeah.
Can anyone see it?
I see just from the camera.
No, okay.
I can't see it from the camera. Oh wait, try here.
Oh, right. See right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you please
Just a
stop
little-
pushing me over?
Okay, this video.
Tell me I have to leave.
Can you actually see anything on that camera?
Actually not hold it that I can't see on this camera well. I can't see any germs.
Yeah, no, I can't really see anything on here myself.
I don't know what germs are.
I don't see anything. Okay, I probably don't have anything. What do the germs look like?
Just hit 8 minutes.
Well, if you look on there, not really. They don't look like that.
No, what do they look like with the
They look like, oh, with the UV light, it looks like there's white specks on your hands. See, like I can't really see the specks on here myself.
I can't see. I can't see
Yeah,
white
it's
specks.
really clear if you looked at Aaron's hand, like it literally like
Here.
lit
Look
up.
at mine, look at mine.
Hold on.
Like, see, look at that right there. Do you see that?
Oh my god.
So that's because she
Oh,
was
gosh.
the first one, right?
Okay, now try to
So-
look at mine.
Oh my god.
I want to see mine.
Nothing. Not really. No dots.
Yeah, no, I don't see it.
Oh, here we
So
go.
you guys are
Here we-
saying.
Yeah, videotape hits, okay?
Let's see.
I'm already.
Were you infected? See,
Still
there's a
videotaping.
little bit there.
Videotaping for 8 minutes.
Okay, good.
Good. All right, thanks, guys.
I could actually stop
Can I wash my hands anyway?
So, what we learned from that experiment was that while you can get infected, you can also pass it on by direct contact. However, it seems to diminish over time, right? So it's not stable. So when we got to the end, it didn't look like anyone had it anymore. So that's kind of how the spread of germs works. But in reality, what happens is a huge mess of germs that get collaborated everywhere. So there's so many germs that it's really hard to just lose it. So you can be like on the door handle right now, I bet there's germs.
And like one of you guys said, germs can grow, right?
Yeah.
They can produce more and more germs. Some bacteria can grow. They double every 20 minutes. So think, if I didn't wash my hands, maybe I don't know, coughed and didn't wash my hands. If I had that bacteria, maybe like an hour later, I got like lots of bacteria on my hands.
Because it's growing all day long.
Exactly. So now David's going to show you the differences between bacteria and viruses and how big are they.
Okay, so like we talked about before, so if you look at size, see here, this is bacteria. It's microscopic, so we already covered what that is. However, viruses, are much smaller. So if you think about it, say bacteria was the size of this room.
Oh my god.
Oh, you doing with human cell? Okay, fine. A human cell, because Aaron wants to work with humans. A human cell was the size of this room. How large do you think a virus would be in comparison? Yeah?
The size of that chair.
Okay. What do you think?
The size of that big block.
That big block? Okay.
The computers are on the wall.
What do you think?
Maybe the size of that little picture of the sun up there.
What do you think, Aaron?
So a bacteria might be the size of me. This is a
Oh.
human cell, but a virus would be the size of a penny.
Yep.
It's very,
So
very
they're
small.
so small you can't even see them with a microscope.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look here. So next we talk about what's like the composition, the body. So bacteria are very complicated. So they're if you think about it, they're like miniature animals. So they actually have their own system, their own ways of working. However, viruses completely depend upon other organisms in order to survive. So they're relatively simple. So alive, teeny animals. However, viruses act more like machines. So they're more they're not really alive per se, but they more like are parasites and they leech off of the organisms that they're attached to. So some sicknesses you could have. So if you have the cold or the flu, you have a virus.
Here's a cold. Oh no, you have a cold.
However, if you have diarrhea, pneumonia, tuberculosis, you would have a bacterial infection. Yes?
Do germs have eyes?
What do you guys think?
No.
I don't know.
I have a virus.
I don't think germs have eyes at all.
Eye is actually a very complex organ.
Yeah, you have
Bacteria don't really have eyes the way we see it. However, they can sense their surroundings.
They have like little hairs. Some of them have like little hairs on the outside of them that they can use to like, when they run into something, they know it's there and they know they need to spin around, and they have a little tail that they can help move them around.
Right. So another thing, just to go off the interplay between bacteria and viruses. Does anyone know what antibiotics are?
Oh,
Yeah,
There's-
everyone's heard of it? Okay, can someone... Okay.
antibiotic.
What do you think antibiotics are?
They're a medication that fights bacteria.
Right, exactly. So, if you had a cold or a flu, should you...
The flu? You get the flu every year? The flu shot.
Well, I don't get it. I don't get it. I got it once. I got it once.
You usually get cold blue ones.
Okay, so flu shots. What's in a flu shot?
Egg. It's an egg in it.